On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 2010. We're going to be taking a look at Gary Clark Jr. and he's going to be performing Bright Lights. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So we've got the guitar out already, so we're going to have a smooth transition into any kind of analysis and demonstrations because this is just over 7 minutes in length for the performance. So it is a bit of a long one, but we'll get Gary and the band up on screen and see how they get on. I'm just going to jump in here. As always, there's a link in the description below to this performance video if you want to watch it the whole way through without me interrupting it. But we've got basically just a couple of chords going on here throughout the whole performance and the whole composition. We're jumping from this A, and we've got this transition between the cleaner sound that Gary's got, and it's such a great tone that he's got for his rhythm. He's got that crunch in there, but it's still got that clean edge to it, so you can still hear everything really nice and clearly. But then when he gets into his lead guitar, he just goes full fuzz with, he's maybe got a fuzz box that he's just turning on, or he might be rolling off his volume for the rhythm, where we've got this. That kind of thing. So we've got this A happening all the time. We've got the A minor, which would be our first chord. And then as we scratch down that third finger, it gives us a D chord effectively, but still over the A. So we've got the D over an A. And that A is happening the whole time. So we've got over 7 minutes worth of an A being hit on the guitar, but there is so much going on over the top of that. And we've got the double drumming going on as well. So a really thick sound with the drums. And the foot pedal, listening to that, because that is setting up the groove and the feel of the performance, because it's got a bounce in the foot pedal. Everything else is so straight. With the guitar, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's really straight with all of those downstrokes in there, but the foot pedal has the bounce in it. I also love the way that when we get back into the verse, as we've just heard, we get that dynamic just brought down again so that you can hear that vocal nice and clearly over the top. But we've gone from that really heavy, fuzzy unison bends in the solo as well. And, you know, hitting that B string more than once. We've got the same unison bends on the B string, the high E string. And he works his way up, maybe even up to bending on the 14th fret and first ring of the 12th. But there's so much in there from a lead guitar perspective, considering that he's just spending most of his time really in that pentatonic shape 1, just throwing together those. I think there was a line similar to that, and that's the great thing, is that when you're just throwing together lines, like after having listened to this, I think I've just pulled out a line that Gary plays at some point, and I'm going to rewind it and have to remember where we got to, 4:38, but I rewinded to see if that line is in there somewhere. It might have been a little bit earlier on. There we go. That was perfectly timed as well. The kind of like that. So there's melody in there because it sticks in your head, all of these guitar lines. Let's see where it goes next. And same. And a little finish there. Not sure if it was a bend or whether he played it straight. Hard to tell. Might have even been a pre-bend. Kind of like that. But the other thing is that when we've got this, he's supplying that root note with the thumb, just throwing that in there now and again. But it's this tone which just sounds great with that fuzz on there. But these lines that he's throwing together, all in that minor pentatonic shape 1. So you can have a go at throwing these together yourself, but it's the expression that he gets in there with the... He'll just spend a little bit more time on a note. And like that, a kind of pull-off, a throwaway pull-off. And even that. Or that. And just doing a really subtle hammer on to either the D string or the G string, going and that kind of thing. It's just throwaway expression at the end of the line. So he's got the ability to end a line however he wants to, whether he wants to, like that, really subtle, hammer onto that D, and that's not even a picked D string, because it is so throwaway at the end. You're literally just hammering down onto it. I exaggerated a bit too much there. Like that. So, when we then come back to that, and he applies a little bit of that vibrato and then pull off, because he's now spending a little bit more time on the note and giving you that vibrato, making the guitar sing, it's going to just give you a variation of the same line that we've been hearing. So, there is a lot going on here, even though we're using a relatively simple shape, but it's just the way that Gary applies the technique of vibrato, hammer-ons, pull-offs, and putting the feel into the playing. We've got this downstroke approach, and he's kind of jumping onto the guitar with his chord, kind of like that, actually with the... And you don't want to be too worried about buzzing too much, because that's the feel. You're just jumping into the chords. And that's what Gary's doing with that right hand. You can start to apply a little bit of palm mute in there to get them to pop out, but it looks like Gary's just using that downstroke because he's just got such a great tone here. So it's dying as soon as he's finished his strum, and he's just popping onto those strings. So as soon as he plays his chord, he lets the pressure off the left hand, like that. And it's almost jumping from the chord, root, chord, root, chord, root, chord, root, like that. And then jumping over to that D. And it's probably more the case when we go from the A minor to the D, we're just getting in the D string and the G string, so that rather than emphasizing that major chord a little bit too much, Gary's just got a fantastic voice. Just the soul that's in there, and the expression that's in his voice as well as his guitar playing is just matched up perfectly, and it's a great voice to listen to. He could be a standalone vocalist, a standalone guitarist, lead guitarist, but he's just got the ability to do both of these things at the same time. I know that we do have the other parts on the guitar. The second guitar looks like he might be having a few problems, because he does walk over to Gary during Gary's solo, and Gary just kind of stays on the couple of notes for quite a long time. I might fast forward it to that in a second, but we've also got on that second guitar this little part and he's actually giving it a wobble like that with vibrato, and that makes all the difference when we've got the, and also that kind of thing. Just giving it a nice wobble of vibrato makes all the difference to the expression of that particular line that's going on. And he's got his strings on his guitar upside down. So I don't know whether you noticed that, but when I'm playing at the top here and getting those notes in there, he's actually playing it up here. So it means that his high E string, B string, and G string are here. So high E string, B string, and G is there. So he strung his guitar upside down. That's obviously how he's learned to play. Another thing about this whole song and performance is that we are so minor. We never, ever touch that major, and you'll know it straight away. If you went, as soon as you throw it in there, it just sounds just too happy, a little bit too cheesy for the kind of attitude that we've got going on here with our chords, because we're always in that. We've always got that minor in there. You know, all that kind of stuff. But really cool playing here. Let's have a quick listen, even though I know I've already heard the solo. And it's that. That kind of thing again, using the techniques, borrowing that high E string and the B string on your 5th fret, pentatonic shape 1. Kind of like that. And taking it down all the way if you want to. And the little jumps over. We've got so much going on just in that shape. This is something that you'll find that a lot of beginner guitarists, they'll start playing that minor pentatonic shape 1 just in order. And that is the problem with learning scales, is that once you've learnt the notes of the scale, you just tend to play them through note by note. Whereas here, that little run that Gary had going, is jumping from ascending, descending to the note below where you started, and then go back to where you started. That doesn't sound like the minor pentatonic scale. So it's just throwing these notes together and also, you know, throwing the bends in there. Kind of like that. And you can start throwing in little phrases like I did there, just throwing in that. And, yeah, and a little pinch of vibrato as well. Now, I can't remember where we got to, so we're jumping to 428, was it? I can't remember, but we'll watch it from here on and then probably do a bit of a rewind to look at some of the technique on the fretboard.
City, try to find myself. I went up a different person, came down somebody else. I know it ain't right, but it's all in my head. Oh, I'm surprised that I'm still alive. I should be dead. Bright lights, big city going to my head.
And there we have it. I mean, Gary's voice is just crazy. And it's the expression within his vocal phrases. And I know that we're looking at the guitar quite a lot here and the work on the fretboard, but the way that he just tails off his lines vocally in exactly the same way that he ends his guitar lines. Like I said, it really does match up perfectly. When I say that, what I mean is when he's playing through a guitar line, he's got this... that kind of thing. He'll do exactly the same thing vocally. So when he sings, "You gonna know my name," that "you gonna know my name," there's that "you gonna know my name, know my name." He's just doing exactly the same thing vocally. So this is why you get that perfect match of voice and guitar. There are also sections within the lead where he does get a little bit higher up that fretboard, where we have the unison bends on that B string, high E, and hitting that high E string a few more times, and then going up. So a little bit higher here. I think we have a little line kind of like that, slide, same there. You know, taking it down. I don't know the lines exactly. And this is the amazing thing that we've had over 7 minutes worth of effectively this A, just keep on doing that for just over 7 minutes. It's amazing how, with such a simple shape, once you start playing with expression and you've got total control of your techniques and the way that you want to sing through the guitar, and you've got the ability to do that by throwing in, you know, a slightly faster vibrato, slower vibrato, you know, and those little phrases at the end of lines, it just gives the guitar a voice. And that's certainly what Gary does with his playing, but with his vocals as well. His voice is just on a different level of soul and expression. So when you stick his playing together with his singing, it's just that perfect match that I've already mentioned in this video. But thank you guys so much for requesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!